All right, y'all, let's get into the trumpets a little bit, since we have a couple trumpets that are starting to toot the horn to sound like the little horn that is setting up in Texas, the Lone Star State, for the morning star, for the dawn that will be rising soon. Okay? He came as a lamb, and now he comes as a lion. And as a lion, he needs his pack with him, all right? And those are his trumpets, the pets of Trump. And we already have the silent trumpets showing as a sign. And we also have the verbal trumpets tooting the horns, okay? These men, so far, the confirmed ones are Elon Musk and Ron DeSantis, okay? These men are required to mirror Trump in one way, shape, or form, whether that is in actions, that speak, that is business, or whatever, okay? We see Ron DeSantis starting to speak like the lion that Trump is going to become. And we see Elon Musk starting or trying to start the apps that Trump has started, right? Because the Trump app, the Truth Social, is the Luke 21 abomination of desolation, okay? That is the one that is given life after the first beast who had the deadly head wound. And when did he have the deadly head wound? He had it on Twitter, and he had it when Kathy Griffin pulled up his bloody head, okay? Or whatever her name is, Kathy, Kathy Griffin. And that's the G Lucky Riff Inn. Because the riff in time is merging, okay? So, Trump. Little thing about Trump, okay? And these men have to, or women, Noe, I think from South Dakota is where she's from, which is the other Noah, right? As in Noah's day, you have Noe, and then you have the ark that was built however many years back, and now it's all there, dude. Like, over and over, like signs to show you the day and hour, the time and season that it is, okay? Anyways, folks, not to get off from rabbit trails, but Trump, he's been speaking live since 1985. What that means is he speaks without a script. He speaks improv. So every time you've seen him in an interview, okay, or on The Apprentice, or wherever, okay, he is acting live, all right, on a speech. He has a foundation that he works off of, but he is given free reins to say and do as he pleases in the speeches, okay? Now, Trump is the head honcho, okay? He is the one who's been given a deal by the beast to bring in certain times by 2026, okay? That's his time frame, 2026, and they got to stick to this. And then after 2026 is when you will start getting the electronic age and the Ron DeSantis and whatever coming forth, okay? Now, Trump, what's going on between like Nike and PayPal and the Gap that Kanye West is mentioning and whatnot, okay? And he also mentions the one, I think he says 126, but all this stuff ties in together as the timelines. But the thing that's going on is Trump, Dark Trump, okay? They tagged Black Elvis back then because they were coding for the Dark Trump script, right? And then now they're doing the White Lives Matter, because white Elvis matters, and they're doing the White Throne Judgment after that, okay? But the Dark Trump, okay, when he comes forth, there's problems right now between the old heads and the new heads, because Trump and his trumpets are too loud, okay? And the old heads think that they are too loud and they are too extreme, all right? The new beast, the PayPal side, they love what Trump's got, okay? They know Trump's ready, and it is, and parts are ready, okay? But the parts that are like coming up that will like blow people's minds, okay? That those parts are still being decided or whatever, because you know how they do with the edits or whatever. They'll do like a couple shoots or whatever, and then they go back and decide which ones or whatever. Well, Trump's wanting this, the other heads are wanting this, and then the PayPal side's wanting whatever, okay? So there's that's kind of the stuff they're trying to figure out now too, okay? They're trying to figure out the timeline, they're trying to figure out the direction, they're trying to figure out if there needs to be any more tests, and yes, there needs to be new tests, and we see those tests coming, but as things go into it, and the vials and trumpets, they match up and they'll collide in a sense, okay? But that's where you start getting your double whammies and triple whammies. But the first vial started pouring back around the week that I told y'all the tribulation was ending, right? And the tribulation has been trickling down, and the great tribulation has been trickling up, okay? Because there's an overlap of these things going on, because as the vial is pouring, the vial has to pour down, and then eventually it hits the earth, and then it splashes all over the earth, right? Well, that's about to happen with the new variants and the new lockdowns and all this stuff that's coming, because the new man, the next age of man is upon you, okay? And these people that are going live on Zoom or on their apps or whatever, they're going live from the bottomless pit. They're sticking their head into the pit and looking around, okay? And that's why when the whole world shut down, it went to Zoom, the Zoo M, the Zoo 1-3, the 1C, the Zoo for the beast, okay? Because that's where you're holding up now. When the lockdowns come, eventually, okay, whether it be this lockdown or the one after it, okay, they may do gloves this time, and then they may do the whole shebang the next time, okay? We're going to see how fast they push this. But eventually, okay, the next age of man, you're going to have your bottomless pit, your man with the bottomless, okay? But out in the world, okay, because the earth passes away. How does it pass away? It passes away through the invisible enemy. It passes away through the Green Deal. It passes away through the carbon taxing. It passes away through all these different ways, okay? So as it passes away for the next age of man and for the next heaven and earth to emerge, then we see the man developing, okay? So when it says that earth, the darkness was upon the deep without form and void, okay? The darkness was upon these men, and they're without form and void in their head, right? Because they're all dumb. They need their smartphone to make them smart first off. And then they're without form and void because they have their mask on. They don't have any face. They're without form. They're without void. They have no emotion, no expressions. Your gloves, they're going to hide your fingerprints. It's no more, you're without form, without void. You're going into hell on earth. You're going back to a time when Lucifer was made perfect so perfect that he reigned the heaven and the earth, that he reigned all men on earth. Okay? The church is lost. The church doesn't get it. The church will never get it. They think the story of creation is Genesis 1. No, the story of creation is Genesis through Revelation. Genesis 1 is just the beginning. What about the end of creation? You got to have the end to understand the beginning, folks. Revelation 12 explains Genesis 1 and 2. And you have two seeds being created. And the people don't get it. The churches don't get it. Why? Because they've been given over to this world. They believe the things of this world. How should we live in this world, folks? Just as a real easy thing to do. What should we do in this world as a basics, okay? We need to learn everything we can learn. We need to test everything we can test, okay? And pretty much, you learn whatever you want to learn, and you don't believe anything, okay? You don't go left, you don't go right, you go straight. Okay, that's where the easy path is. Don't get pulled left, don't get pulled right, don't get pulled into government indoctrination, don't get pulled into government laws, don't get pulled into all this stuff that's pulling you all which ways. You can't even think for yourself. Okay? You're interpreting everything in this Bible. You're interpreting everything in this world based on what the world has told you. All right? Doesn't matter if you're from Jack Hyles, from Billy Graham, from Benny Hinn. They're all false prophets. They're all men who've crept in unaware, who Paul warned you about, who's following other carnal men. And they know not spiritual things because they know not even the Spirit. The church today doesn't have a clue what spiritual awareness is or what spirituality is. The world doesn't have a clue what spirituality is or what spirits are. Zero.